Hey, what's up, you guys? Raz Atiyat here in Singapore, and thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. As always, you guys, I really and truly appreciate you all joining me, listening in, sending in feedback, comments. It really helps me continue to grow and continue to serve as effectively as possible, because as much as I would like to say that I know what you need, it's better when you tell me what you need. I'd rather know specifically what it is that you're looking for, the things that you're struggling with, rather than assume and maybe not hit the mark. And I know I'm not going to always hit the mark. There are so many times when I get on here and I start talking and I'm thinking, what the hell? Do you really think this message is going to, reach the audience that you need? Do you think it's really going to serve anybody? And I wonder sometimes, but I leave it be, because most times, even if I'm a little skeptical about it, I know the message that was supposed to come out came out. So I just let it be. I let it ride. But for the most part, I really do appreciate all the feedback, all of the information you've been giving me, because it means that much to me to know that I am connecting with you guys, that it does serve you, that it does help you, that it does uplift you in moments of need. So back to basics, I have been taking a break every now and again, trying to make sure that I don't overload, I don't talk about the same things over and over again. And honestly, that's kind of hard to do, because what do I talk about? Emotional intelligence. I talk about feelings all day long, and the different ways that the feelings can manifest, why they would manifest, who's triggering those feelings, what those feelings actually mean. So, I mean, I'm sure I talk about the same things over and over again, but I do want to make sure that you understand that all of what I'm trying to teach you guys can help no matter what situation you're in, whether it's work, school, family, friends, love, parenting, taking care of your aging parents, like all of that stuff. It really does work, because emotional intelligence means better human relations, better human communication. And you know what? That's basically all we do on a daily basis anyway. So here I go again, hoping that I'm hitting the mark, making sure that I'm trying to connect with you guys as much as possible based on the things that I'm seeing. I'm trying to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because it matters to me that you get the right information, that you have a couple more options. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you other options, other perspectives to consider. And I'm hoping that makes you feel less trapped, makes you feel like you have more control over your life, like you have some choices that you could maybe entertain that might actually benefit you. Because sometimes when we're left to our own devices, we don't see all of the possibilities, right? We only know what we've seen before. And so unless we're pushed to use our imagination, that critical thinking portion of it doesn't come through, and it doesn't give you other avenues to consider. So here I am trying to give you more perspective, and I'm hoping it works. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about this quote that I saw on Instagram from an account called Nation of the Fearless. It's one of those accounts that I follow a lot, because they have some really great quotes, and it's right in line with the kinds of things that I believe in. So I try really hard to pay attention, and this one really, it hit home for me, because I feel like it was a reminder for me as well. So I want to share it. It says, when someone tries to trigger you by insulting you or doing or saying something that irritates you, take a deep breath and switch off your ego. Remember that if you're easily offended, you're easily manipulated. And that's really important. But I want to focus on the turning off the ego part. Here's what I'm seeing from this quote itself, right? If you turn off your ego, it's almost like telling yourself, hey, I know who I am. I like who I am. I'm okay the way I am. I don't need to defend who I am, to prove that I'm okay, that prove that, what I'm doing is all right, it's a good thing, it's not hurting anybody. I don't need to defend or justify who I am based on your perception of me. And that's the part I want to get into, because so many times when I have my clients come to me, they're talking about, well, they said this and I can't believe they used that word. And you know what? They know how much that hurts me, and they use that word anyway. Well, guess what? They were looking to get a rise out of you. They're looking for some kind of instigation to kind of get you onto the same level that they are, because they need you to be as upset as they are in order for them to feel like they are justified, that they are doing the right thing. They need to be right in this conversation, which makes it not even a debate, really. It becomes an argument. I'm arguing that I'm right. You're arguing that you're right, which means we're not going to come to a compromise, because that's not the point. I just need you to feel like you're wrong, so I feel better about myself. So in those instances, those types of conversations, you need to be very, very aware of the fact that they're going to say anything they can to get you riled up, which means anything you've given them in confidence, as far as, your past experiences, your past relationships, things that have hurt you before, in the moment when they're such a heightened feeling state, right? They're going to use anything they can to get you riled up, because they really need for you to see they're right and you're wrong. They need that. They need that in order for them to feel secure. So if you turn off your ego and realize, okay, they're about to say whatever they feel like saying in order for them to feel better, you're going to take it as, oh my gosh, poor thing. What exactly is going on? And maybe you can get to the bottom of it without getting pulled into their cyclone of drama. Does that make sense? So this is what I'm saying. When you don't have your ego, when you don't bring your ego along with you, the need to prove and defend and justify who you are more likely to enter into a conversation and let it be just that, a conversation, rather than be pulled into an argument, be invited into an argument and you attend as well, and it becomes a he said, she said, I'm right, you're wrong. No, you're right, I'm wrong kind of situation where you're trying really hard to prove that you're okay the way you are, and you should accept me the way I am, and you should take care of me instead of the other way around. There is so much information around us in all of the conversations that we can really, if we check our ego at the door, we can really sit and learn what it is the other person needs. There's a lot out there to unpack, I'm telling you, seriously, okay? So if you're able to sit and unpack what the other person needs, you are more effective in this so-called fight. They talk about, Bruce Lee used to talk about the fact that, if you're angry, you're an ineffective fighter. Why? Because you're fighting to prove that you're better than the other person rather than watching the other person's moves and effectively blocking whatever onslaught they're about to give you, whatever, offense they're trying to play. Does that make sense? So in football even, right? A good quarterback is somebody who keeps his head on the swivel. He can read the defensive line. He can watch the knuckles of the linebackers and make sure that he understands what they're about to run. So he knows how to manage his team well enough to get to that end zone. So he is not thinking about, oh my God, you know what, I'm the best, and if this person comes after me, I'm going to have to show him that I'm the best. No, he's using his entire team. He's using all the resources at his disposal. He's using all the skills and techniques that he's been taught throughout his career in order to get to the end zone. This is a team thing. It's not a me only thing. Does that make sense? So when you check your ego at the door, your awareness of the situation changes. It is not selfish or self-centered or self-centric. It is, okay, what is going on right now? Where is this person in their state of mind? What is it they're trying to tell me so I can figure out what they need and deliver that need? Deliver or serve them. Or if I can't, tell them, hey, you know what, I really can't. But if they're in their heightened state and they're yelling and screaming and, trying to get you involved in the situation because they need you to be as upset as they are, you need to be able to pick apart what it is that they're saying, the words that they're using. You need to be able to see past the insults and the manipulation in order to see what it is that they need. Because if you can do that, you can effectively solve problems and maintain your peace, your boundaries, and your sense of self. It's very hard when you're also upset and they're talking about, oh, you know what, you should have done this and you should have done that. And I thought you were this type of a person and you're not. And I thought you were this type of person and you're not. You know what, you told me that you could be loyal and you could be trustworthy. And you know what, this one thing that you did shows me that you can't be trusted. You can't be loyal. You have no instinct as far as how to be a good friend or a good person. Any of those things, when you walk away from the fight, especially if you've been dragged into that emotional heightened state, right? When you walk away from that at that time, it will continue replaying in your head. You will start to wonder if you really are those things that they said. You will start to wonder if, you know what, was I dreaming? Was I, a bad person? Did I do something wrong? Could I have done something better? And you're going to start wondering about those things. It's going to add to that reel of things, insults or comments that people have passed along the way in your past that affect your sense of self. It's going to be something else that you have to reconcile within yourself and see if you've done something wrong or not. And rather than do that, I would rather you go into a conversation knowing who you are, trusting who you are, happy with the decisions you've been making because you did it for yourself, rather than worry about whether or not the other person had a point. What were they saying? Did they really mean the things that they're saying? Are they seeing something that you're not seeing? Are you misinterpreting the whole situation? Was there something that you could have done? Rather than going to that spiral of, oh my gosh, what if I'm the bad guy in the situation? I would rather you know that you are decent and you've been doing the best you can with what you know and you're happy with your decisions so that you can stay objective in the conversation and really help the other person rather than get dragged into their emotional storm. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I do want to hear from you guys. But in the meantime, I want you to consider Are you able to check your ego in a conversation? Are you able to put that aside and not be focused on whether or not they're attacking you, and rather wonder why they're in attack mode? What happened to them for them to be in such a heightened emotional state, for them to, to lash out at whatever is around or whoever is around? And what makes them feel like they are safe enough to come after you? Because maybe they don't feel like they're losing anything if they do push you away. Or maybe they feel like, they can afford to push you away because you're not your blood relative. You can't go anywhere. You're stuck with them anyway. So think about those things. Think about why it is they're in a prickled state of emotion, and see if you can't help them out to get them to calm down and tell you what the real problem is, rather than get sucked into the storm that they're in, and then both of you leave the conversation really upset and really broken because nothing was actually solved. You kind of just slung mud at each other. Does that make sense? All right, you guys, I'll catch you again soon, but hopefully this helped a little bit. And yeah, take care of yourselves.